Let's talk about legato playing on guitar. Legato is an Italian term and it literally translates from Italian to English as bound or tied together. Some of my Italian friends would also say that it translates as connected. The musical definition of legato is play smoothly. On guitar, this means a slightly different thing. You're still going to play connected and smoothly, but you're going to do that using hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides. I've found that legato playing has had many benefits in my own playing. Even if you have no desire to be a lightning fast shredder, I still think that practicing legato techniques will yield many benefits. Of course, you can still apply these if you want to become a lightning fast shredder as well. So in this lesson, I'm going to present 6 legato exercises to improve your fretting hand technique. Exercise number 1 is perhaps the best legato exercise that I've found for myself on guitar. I'm not saying that this is the best legato exercise hands down, it's just the one that helped me improve the most. We're going to take a small portion of an A natural minor scale and we're going to play it to a metronome. We're going to do 2 notes per click in order to improve. We're going to play this scale using as many combinations of hammer-ons and pull-offs as possible, so the aim is we're going to try and pick the least amount that we can. The exercise is going to start here on the 8th fret of the high E string. We're going to play 8, 7 and 5 on this high E string, and we're going to pick once and we're going to pull off all 3 in a row like that. We're then going to go onto the B string and we're going to play fret number 8 to 6 to 5. If you can, and if you get really good, the aim of this one will be to pick once on this high E string and not at all on the B string. We're then going to jump to the G and we're going to play 7 down to 5 down to 4. Again, if you can go from the B string to the G string without picking, that would be perfect. We're then going to travel back up that scale using hammer-ons. So we're going to go 4, 5, 7 on the G. We're going to go 5, 6, 8 on the B. You probably will have to pick again at this point. And then 5, 7, 8 on the high E string. The key to grasping this exercise will be to play it in time. So either play with a metronome or play to a drum beat. I'm going to start at 75 BPM. You can start slower or faster if you need to, but make sure you gradually increase or decrease the tempo as you see fit, and make sure that you experiment with differing tempos as you get used to this exercise. Another thing to remember is to focus on long, even notes and not try to rush the phrase. And here's that exercise up to speed. And we're going to repeat. Again, focus on nice, long, clean, smooth notes. Make sure you rest your hand on the strings that you're not playing in order to mute unwanted noise, and focus on a nice, even rhythm throughout. It doesn't matter how slow that you perform this exercise, you need that consistent rhythm in order to be able to build speed and technique. Exercise number 2 is a variation on exercise number 1. We're going to take that same scale, but we're going to start on a different note each time. It's probably easier for me to demonstrate this on the guitar close up rather than try to explain it. So here we go. Before, we had that scale shape of 8, 7, 5 on the high E string, 8, 6, 5 on the B, and 7, 5, 4 on the G. Instead of starting on 8 this time, we're going to start on 7. That means that we start on a different beat and every other beat subsequently is slightly displaced. Although we're playing the same sequence of notes, this does make the exercise feel slightly different. Let's perform that one. As you can see, that one feels slightly different to the first exercise, and you're really going to be refining that technique by placing those same notes on different beats within the bar. So you started that lick on fret 7 of the high E string. The next part that you will do by yourself is to start that same idea on every other scale note. So make sure you practice that same exercise starting on fret 5 of the high E string, then fret number 8 of the B, then fret number 6 on the B, then 5 on the B, 7 on G, 5 on G, 4 on G, etc., until you're very comfortable starting on each different note of that scale and performing the exercise as a whole. Exercise number 3 is the 4-finger legato exercise. I found this exercise was really helpful for me when building up my fretting hand strength. I also found it was a fantastic warm-up because it left my hand and my fingers feeling really supple and warmed up after I'd performed the exercise. We're going to take a D natural minor scale on the guitar and we're going to perform it using all 4 fingers. So we've got fret 10 on the low E string, we've got 12 on the same string, 13 on the same string, and then we've got 15 on the same string. We're going to perform that using fingers 1, 2, 3 and 4. On the A string we've got 10, 12, 13 and 15. On the D we've got 10, 12, 14 and 15. We've got the same fret combination on the G string, 10, 12, 14, 15. We've got 11, 13, 15 and 17 on the B string. And on the high E string we have 12, 13, 15 and 17. You're going to pick once per string and you're going to hammer on to each note. You're also going to do exactly the same thing when you descend. So you're still going to hammer on and you're still going to fret each string in numerical order. Don't worry if you can't quite get this exercise 100% clean to begin with, you will do with practice. Exercise number 4 is a variation on the one that we just went through. The idea is to take as many different finger combinations as you possibly can and now incorporate pull-offs. So the first finger combination that we looked at was 1, 2, 3 and 4. You can vary this in as many different ways as you like. In fact, I would encourage you to grab a pen and a paper and write down as many different combinations as you possibly can. One that I like to practice quite a lot is 2, 3, 1, 4. I'm using exactly the same scale shape, but it now means that I'm going to hammer on from 2 to 3, pull off to 1, and then hammer on to 4, like this. So 2, 3, 1, 4. I'm going to do the same combination on the next string, the same one on the next string, same again on the G, and then the same on the descent. Let's do that with the metronome. Again, that's just one variation and the possibilities are almost endless with how many times you can vary that lick. So for example, you might want to try fingers 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. The only rule is that you use each finger once and you perform the lick exactly the same ascending as you do descending. Again, it doesn't matter if you don't get it entirely clean at first. What matters is that you're just getting your fingers used to hammering on and pulling off between as many different finger combinations as you possibly can. This will help you build that legato technique and help strengthen your fretting hand and your fretting hand fingers. Exercise number 5, we're going to return to the key of A natural minor and we're going to incorporate hammer-ons, pull-offs and slides. I find slides to be quite an underrated aspect of legato playing. I tend to find that a lot of legato exercises focus on hammer-ons and pull-offs only and they neglect the slides. The slides are a really important part. They make your playing more expressive and they make it easier to navigate large diagonal distances on the fretboard. Here's an exercise that I actually use quite a lot in my own playing as a lick when I'm improvising. We're going to start on fret 5 of the low E string and we're going to hammer on to 7 and then to 8. We're going to do the same thing on the A string. When we get to 8, we're going to perform a 2 fret slide up to 10, like I did just then. Once you've slid to 10, you're going to pull off to 8 and then to 7. And then do the same sequence on the E string, so 10 to 8 to 7, all pull-offs. You will only need to pick twice in this first sequence. We're then going to hammer back on to 8 on the E string and then to 10. Then we're going to do the same picking on the A string. Then it's 7, 9, 10 on the D and then 7, 9, 10 on the G. When we get to that 10 on the G, we're going to slide 2 frets up to 12, pull off to 10, pull off to 9. Do the same sequence of pull-offs on the D string, so 12 to 10 to 9. Hammer back on to 10 on the D, hammer back on to 12, 9, 10, 12 on the G, 10, 12, 13 on the B, same on the high E string, slide to 15, pull off to 13, pull off to 12, hammer on from nowhere to 15 on the B, pull off to 13, pull off to 12, back to 13. If you haven't quite memorised all that just yet, there is a tab for this on my website, culturetoguitarteacher.com. That will be listed and linked in the description of this video. I'm now going to perform that exercise again, 2 notes per click to 75 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, I'm trying to pick the least amount as I possibly can in order to fully strengthen my fretting hand and get that legato technique under my fingers. So if I can perform a pull-off on a string and then hammer back on without picking at all, I'm going to take that option. Our final exercise, exercise number 6, is a descending legato sequence in A natural minor, which is going to incorporate slides, pull-offs and hammer-ons. This one's going to move through pretty much the same finger choice on both strings, but we're going to connect it as we descend the fretboard with slides. This is another lick that I like to incorporate into my own playing while I'm improvising. We're going to start right up the neck on fret 17 on the high E string. Another great thing I like to do when I'm practicing is try and play on the high frets and try and practice scales and ideas up high on the fingerboard rather than just confining everything to the middle of the guitar and using fret 12 as a maximum. We're going to pull off from 17 to 15 and then to 13 on the high E string. We're going to hammer on, again without picking to the B string, and we're going to perform the exact same sequence of notes. So it would be 17, 15, 13 on high E, 17, 15, 13 on the B. When you get to that 13 on the B, slide it down to fret 12 on the B. We're going to hammer on to 13, same string, and then 15. And then we're going to do the same frets on the high E string, so 12, 13, 15. So far. We're then going to pull off that same sequence, so 15, 13, 12, 15, 13, 12 on the B, slide it down to 10, hammer on to 12, then 13. Same frets on the high E string, so 10, 12, 13. Pull off to 12, then 10, 13 on B, 12 on B, pull off to 10, slide down to 8, hammer on from 8 to 10, then 12 on the B, pick high E string, fret number 8, hammer on to 10, hammer on to 12, then pull off that sequence, pull off to 10, pull off to 8, hammer on to 12 on the B, pull off to 10, pull off to 8, slide down to 5, hammer on to 6, hammer on to 8, 5 on the high E string, hammer on to 7, hammer on to 8, pull off to 7, pull off to 5, finish there. Just like with all of the previous examples, I'm now going to perform that to 75 beats per minute, metronome, and I'm going to do it 2 notes per click. There you have it, 6 exercises to build your left hand technique. These ones, I definitely benefited from practicing these a lot. It helped me become more expressive and more in control of my own playing, and it also enabled me to perform licks a lot faster, scales a lot more fluid, and I just sounded better as a result. Again, if you want the tab to any of these exercises, the link is in the description of this video. This lesson was originally based on a blog post that I wrote a few years ago, and I thought it could benefit from having a YouTube video to accompany it. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button for more of my lessons in future, and ring the bell to get notified of any lessons that I post up in future on this channel. Thanks again for watching, take care, and enjoy your guitar playing.